Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of GIS Answers. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Today what we'll be looking at is Bigfoot sightings in New York State. This data is provided by Esri through the hub, and the BFRO is the Bigfoot Research Organization. They're the organization that compiled the data, did the research into the sightings, and have mapped out the information. This layer is shown in the yellow points. And just out of interest, I also downloaded through ArcGIS Online the USA Parks and also rivers, the USA Rivers and water network for the entire USA, which is scale dependent. So the more you zoom in, the more data you see become available. But we have the world imagery as a backdrop and the hybrid reference layer for state boundaries and places. So the more you zoom in there, the more detail you're going to get as far as reference points. So let's get started. We'll learn a bit about Bigfoot, and at the same time we'll learn GIS. What a great combination. So I want to have a look at some clusters here. You can see there's a cluster of maybe 4 points over here around Medina and Albion, New York. And we're just going to click on the point. Two young boys experience powerful high-pitched vocalizations. And that's considered a Class B by the Bigfoot Research Organization, 1992. Powerful vocalization heard near the town of Albion, New York. So when I say sightings, I mean the sightings is not just sightings. It could be any evidence related to Bigfoot, vocalizations, wood knocks, nests, broken limbs, trees that have been pushed over, anything that the Bigfoot Research Organization investigates upon reports, and they feel valid enough to classify and record. So a Class A sighting would be an actual sighting of a Bigfoot. So here we've got morning sighting by motorist at a railroad crossing near Medina. Another sighting, Class A, daylight sighting by a hiker. So we have a mix of vocalizations and sightings in this area, in that cluster. Very few in cities, obviously, but some on the fringe of cities. Just a lone sighting here. Class B, 3 men have a late night encounter with a bipedal figure. So maybe there was no actual visual sighting, but they could hear the footsteps. Maybe that's why it's Class B. So here's another Class A. Man observes a tall, white-haired covered creature during a family gathering near Lake Ontario. Class B sighting. Man recalls a childhood incident at his home on Oneida Lake. So quite a few of these reports are from adults who recall things that happened when they were kids. So, you know, there's quite a few of those. Let's turn on the U.S. Parks layer, and in the Adirondack Park, you can see a cluster of sightings. Some around Lake George. Just turn that layer off. I seem to be picking off that parks layer. Class B sighting, possible vocalizations. Now, I mentioned before in some other videos that people do get wolves and Bigfoot mixed up sometimes, or some other animals, maybe a wild cat, cougar perhaps, mixed up with, confused with a Bigfoot. I know in Canada, that seems to be the case. Another possible vocalization near Sabbath Day Point. Another Class B. Campers describe a possible approach to a camp near Lake George. These areas would be quite remote in the Adirondack Park. Possible daylight sighting by a motorist. As you can see, as I said before, the hybrid reference layer provides more information as you zoom in. Scale dependency, and also scale dependency on the world imagery. As you zoom in, you get more and more detail. As you can see, the street names start appearing. Then when you zoom out, the street names will disappear, and you'll get less detail on both the world imagery and the reference layer. And that's called scale dependency. What if you down here towards New York? Let's see if there's any national parks down here. Any national parks? Well, there's some state parks. On the edge of state parks. Again, a Class B sighting. Possible red eyeshine in the woods near Garrison, New York. So that's another common report from people who have claimed they've seen Bigfoot. In nighttime is the red eyeshine from the glow of the red eyes of a Bigfoot. Here's one just on the edge of town, a small town, Goshen, New York. Perhaps this one didn't make the cut. The sighting location, but the actual data doesn't make sense. So, over in the Finger Lakes in New York, there's a couple over here. Let's have a look. Campers describe incidents over 3 or 4 hours with unseen animals near the camp. So, this is quite, to me, if they have something going on for 3 or 4 hours, that's quite a valid report. And I'm glad that that's made it onto onto the database. Here's one in Naples, New York. Class A sighting, morning sighting by deer hunter near Naples. Now this is mapped right in the middle of the town, so you can tell this data is not spatially accurate. It might be off by, it could be off by several hundred meters or more. So it's not accurate to within, several meters. It might be several hundred meters. And as you zoom in, that national waters data set will appear. As you can see, there's the river. There's even wells, watershed boundaries. But again, you really have to zoom in quite close in order for this data to actually turn on. So that's what I've got to show today for New York State. Just a few points to cover, and we're learning GIS at the same time. Just the interface and basic tools for ArcGIS Pro. Please subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you again. Thanks.